It's hard to watch a loved one struggle with their mental health. You just want to make it right. You want to make it better. You want to say the right things. And sometimes we don't. We end up saying things that make it worse. In this video, I'll discuss 11 things to avoid saying when you're trying to help a loved one who's struggling with their mental health. My first tip is to not focus on what the person looks like. Don't say things like, well, you don't look like you're depressed to me, or you wasn't acting like you had anxiety when you was dropping it low the other night. No, avoid saying things like that because the nature of mental health is complicated.
Mental health struggles can look like this, but someone with anxiety can also smile like this, and someone battling depression can look like they're having fun like this.
Everyone will present symptoms in different ways. When you say things like you don't look like you have ... or you don't look like you're struggling, you are judging them off one factor of what they may be experiencing. Maybe try asking them what their symptoms are or exactly how are they feeling, because they may feel awful but still have the ability to fake it or to get up just to do the things that they need to do. I don't know who need to hear this, but weed does not cure everything. Here, hit this. This gonna get you right. This gonna knock that depression out. I'm telling you, boy. While marijuana has a lot of medicinal uses, and research has shown that marijuana can help a lot of symptoms of a lot of different diagnoses, it also shows that for some people, smoking marijuana can increase their anxiety, can increase paranoia, and also increase depression symptoms. So instead of saying, okay, just hit this and you're gonna be all right, support them in getting medicinal advice or seeing a mental health professional or a medical professional to see what their options may be. You don't want them to take something or smoke something that can potentially make their symptoms worse. My third tip is don't say things like, have you taken your meds? I see you're a little upset. You take your pills today? Your attitude is funky today. Take your meds. Take your meds. Don't do that. Medication is just a small part of mental health treatment. Most people who are taking medication for a mental health issue is also doing 3, 4, 5, 6 other things to support them in managing their mental health. Medication is not the end all be all. Don't insult them. Don't make it seem like the medication is just this magic pill. The fourth thing you should avoid saying is, you're just being lazy. You can do it. You just being lazy. When you tell someone who is struggling mentally that they are lazy, you are disregarding their experience. You may have had an experience with depression and was able to get up and go to work, while someone else may struggle a little bit more in those areas. It doesn't mean they're lazy. It just means they are having difficulty managing. Respect their experience. Ask them. Ask them, what is the most difficult thing about getting the job done today? How can I support you? That is the most important part. Ask how you can support before you label them as lazy. The fifth thing you should avoid saying when supporting someone with a mental health struggle is, I thought you were getting better. Just because someone is experiencing a mental health struggle or has a mental health diagnosis does not mean they cannot get upset, they can't have sad days. Your mental wellness is like waves. Some days you'll have high tide, some days it'll be low, some days they're calm, some days your mental health is rough. It does not mean that you'll be perfect once you start taking medication or managing your mental health. It means you'll just have a better grip on what to do when you have those tougher days. Do not insult them by telling them they're not better because they are upset or they have a difficult moment. Support them in getting through it. It's important for you to let them experience their emotions. It might be one of the reasons why they are struggling in the first place. The sixth thing to avoid saying when you are supporting someone with mental health struggles is just pray it away. Just go to church. You can have a pastor and a therapist. Support them in having multiple ways to manage their mental health. The biggest mistake you can make is thinking only one thing can support you in feeling better. And when you tell people that, you insult what they probably already tried, because most of the time that person probably have already prayed and prayed and prayed and probably haven't tried anything else. Try to support them in having several options. Talk to your pastor. Support them with looking for a therapist. Support them with exploring medication. Support them with learning what physical activities help them, just in case one doesn't work. Avoid saying, don't tell your job. They're gonna think you crazy. Avoid making them paranoid. Avoid stigmatizing someone having a mental health struggle. Just because you have a mental health struggle does not mean you have a mental health diagnosis. And even if you have a mental health diagnosis, does not mean you cannot live a functional, full life. We have to get out of the habit of stigmatizing our mental struggles, because that is the reason why most of us struggle anyway, because we are not comfortable in saying, I'm just not feeling my best. I'm having these negative thoughts. One of the most important things you can do as a person who advocates for mental health awareness, try not to stigmatize it. Support them in taking a mental health day. Support them in talking to HR. Half of the time, HR doesn't even need to know what exactly you're taking your day for. You just need to advocate for yourself. Instead of putting fear in them, support them in being confident in taking care of themselves. My number 8 tip of what not to say when you want to help somebody who's struggling with their mental health is, you haven't been to the doctor and got an official diagnosis, so I don't know if you're really struggling from anything. Don't say this. This is insulting. Again, everyone will struggle with some type of mental health issue in their life. A mental health issue can be feeling anxiousness, feeling nervous, not being able to communicate, having negative thoughts, low self-esteem. None of those are official diagnoses. However, they can affect your daily life. They can affect your relationships. So make sure you are not invalidating what your loved one is saying. Listen to them. They don't have to have a doctor's note saying this person has depression to understand that they may be having more sad days than not. Number 9, this is what you signed up for. You a mother. This is what you need to go through. Nobody care about you being depressed. Nobody care about you being tired. This is what you signed up for. This is your job. This is what you're supposed to do. Avoid making people feel like just because they are struggling mentally with a job that they cannot stop, that it doesn't matter. For example, parenting is the hardest job in the world, right? Most of us just can't not parent. However, that does not mean we can't have days where we sick of them kids. Y'all know them kids be worrisome. We need to have a safe space where we can say, Mama tired. It's okay to say you're tired. My kids with their daddy, I'm going on self-care day. Bye. Most of the time, they just need to vent and figure out a plan where they can get a break in, maybe do a little bit of self-care. Don't make them feel like they cannot complain at all, because what happens is they'll end up suppressing. And when we suppress our feelings, that perpetuates further mental health issues. So if you want to support, make the space safe. Let them vent. And yes, this is what we signed up for. It doesn't mean that we can't complain and have moments where we are upset. The 10th thing you should avoid saying when you want to support someone when they are having a mental health struggle is, just do what the doctor says. Just do what they tell you to do. This is problematic because managing your mental health goes beyond doing what the doctor said and taking medication. A large part of maintaining mental health and feeling well is doing the things that you can do, the daily activities, the self-care, the physical activity, your nutrition, expressing yourself, learning to communicate, learning to set boundaries. Those are things that weigh more heavily on how you're gonna feel on a day-to-day basis versus just listening to the doctors. And when you come to the mental health professionals, we're just gonna tell you, here are our recommendations. Let's figure out how you can be autonomous in this. Let's figure out how you can get confident in doing the day-to-day things that can support you. And yes, you can take your medications. You can come and get your assessments. However, a large part of being well is going to be what you do every day while you're on your own. Support them in becoming confident in managing themselves. There is no one magic pill or one magic intervention that's going to make someone's mental health better. A large part of the road to recovery is us, what we do for ourselves. My last tip is to avoid saying mental health is not real. It doesn't exist. We all have mental health. Some of us are in a healthier state than others. And if you want to support your loved one when they are struggling, saying that it doesn't exist, you are not struggling, is a smack in the face. And you are, one, not providing a safe space for them, so they probably won't tell you a lot, which puts them in a more dangerous spot because you can't help them if you don't know when they're struggling. You might want to be more open to how other people experience their mental health struggles differently than you do. However, this ain't about you. It's about you supporting someone else. I hope this video was helpful for you. You won't ever be able to do the perfect thing to help someone. The most important thing to remember is we don't fix people, we don't save people, we support them. Isn't this what this is all about? Being able to help someone feel better? There you go. 11 things to avoid saying. I appreciate you for watching. If you watch this entire video, you better support me. You better go ahead. I really appreciate it. If you're interested in learning more, subscribe to my channel. Comment below some topics that you are interested in learning about. I promise you I will respond and I will try my best to make a video about it. Thank you for watching. Be well.